That's the way it could work. But from one veteran middleweight to another guy starting tonight. East End golden boy, Darren Barker, Commonwealth Games champion a couple of years ago, making his debut here in Nottingham, a name I know we're going to hear a lot about in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is in the light middleweight division, a contest scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds. Firstly introducing in the blue corner, wearing the multicoloured trunks, fighting out of Birmingham, weighing 11 stone 12 pounds, tonight competing in his 77th professional contest. Please welcome Howard Clarke. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, across the ring in the red corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with white, fighting out of Barnet, weighing in at 11 stone 5 pounds, tonight making his professional debut. Comes to the ring as a former Commonwealth gold medalist, multi-nations gold medalist. Please welcome Darren Dazzling Barker. Referee in charge of the action for this contest, Mr. Paul Thomas, and this is 6 3-minute rounds.
That's what it's all about. Just remember to defend yourself at all times during this contest, unless you hear me shout stop boxing. You know the rest. Touch gloves, best of luck to both of you.
For the first round.
Well, they haven't given Darren Barker exactly the easiest opponent on earth for his professional debut. The former Commonwealth Games gold medalist as of Manchester a couple of years ago is in against the man in the leopard skin print trunks, and he's Howard Clarke. Now 37 years of age, hasn't had too many wins since his heyday when he challenged for the IBF light middleweight championship of the world way back in March of 1999. Indeed, he's only won 2 contests since then. This is Howard Clarke's 78th professional contest. It's the first for Darren Barker, and although Barker is much taller and leaner, he's actually half a stone lighter. So a tough one for the youngster, Duke.
It is, and it could very well prove to be quite a hard initiation into the professional ranks. As you already said before, Clarke's boxed for a legitimate championship of the world back in the day, albeit a few years ago. So, you know, for this young boy to be taken on something with a wealth of experience, it's a big step up.
Well, very disappointed, Darren Barker, that he didn't qualify for the Olympic Games and join Amir Khan, who brought us such joy and such delight and such success and such credit. Came very close in the European Championships to getting through. Lost to Andy Lee, who went on to represent Ireland in that middleweight division, but he looks much more comfortable at light middleweight. And remember, he won his Commonwealth Games gold medal in the old light welterweight division, which is 63.5 kilograms, and that's 10 stone, and here he is at nearly 11.5.
Well, you know, he's a growing boy, and obviously he's going to develop into a quite a natural light middleweight. He's nice and tall, he's nice and rangy, you know, but he's got to box cute. He's just got to box nice and sensible against a wily campaigner like Clarke.
Did all his amateur boxing for the famous Repton Club, coached by Tony Burns. And he looks nice and comfortable against a much more experienced opponent. How much Clarke is going to put into this, well, we just don't know. He's one of these great journeymen now in British boxing. Terms up everywhere at 2 or 3 weeks' notice. Good opening start, though, by Barker. 6 3-minute rounds, and again, that's a bit of a chance they're taking, because normally a novice will be in perhaps 4-2s, just something similar to the old amateur distance. But it's been a good start by Darren Barker. Black trunks trimmed with white, the youngster. He's just 22 years of age, 15 years younger than Howard Clarke, the former world light middleweight challenger. Good opening round, good solid stuff by Darren Barker, taking his time. Doesn't look like a novice.
No, he's showing quite good variety for his professional debut. Now he's working the head and body quite well. Not getting involved at all.
Good solid right hand at the end of the round against the 37-year-old. Seem to be reasonably happy in the corner with the opening 3 minutes of professional boxing.
Take the time, all right? Take your time. When you see the opening, you just let them go on the openings, alright? You box another.
Darren Barker looking nice and relaxed and very comfortable indeed, and he'll be pretty pleased with that opening 3 minutes.
Every time you tie you up, I'm just going to try and tire you out, that's all, mate. Just relax a minute.
Box on, mate. That's all you got to do, Darren. Go crazy.
10 seconds.
Certainly no signs of nerves at all from Darren Barker.
Seconds out, round 2.
A professional debut can be quite nerve-wracking and can make you physically quite tired going into the ring, but obviously Darren's got himself nice and pumped up mentally and just going about his work.
Having won his Commonwealth title at light welterweight, then moved up to the new welterweight division for last year's World Amateur Championships in Bangkok and Thailand. That's the 69 kilogram division. Got to the quarterfinals and was, well, most people felt a little bit unlucky to lose out to the American Andre Berto. That would have given him a world bronze medal, and not too many English boxers can say that. Indeed, only Carl Froch and David Hay from England have won medals in the World Amateur Championships. Good stuff by Darren Barker, though. Nice bit of footwork, taller and leaner and a longer reach, and he's using just about everything against a hugely experienced man.
Well, a lot depends on Clarke's ambition as to actually what ambition he's got left in his own mind. You know, if he can summon up some of the old skills that he's once had, then he can make it very difficult for Barker.
Well, he got himself stopped the last time out, that was in June. PJ Maxwell stopped him in one round. But before that, he hadn't been stopped for quite a while. Well, Paul Thomas not very happy with that.
A little bit of shoulder work went in there from Barker, just sort of nudging Clarke up and down on his shoulder there. Just a, good old-fashioned trick.
He's picked it up pretty quickly, hasn't he?
Very quickly. So Clarke's not really doing too much right now, which is what I said about his actual desire and commitment. He's just plodding forward. He's not really being too busy. You don't really know what's going through his head.
Well, it's maybe just as well that is the case, that they haven't put Darren Barker in with somebody who's got serious ambitions, because the last thing you want to do is lose your pro debut.
Oh, sure. So, you know, this kid will just be looking, obviously, to learn his trade. He needs opponents like this to pot shot against, not to get involved, just to be sensible.
Well, it's going reasonably well for Darren Barker. 40 seconds or so to the end of the second round. It is scheduled for 6-3, so this is going to be a great test of stamina for him. He's been sparring quite a lot with Howard Eastman. So if he's been sparred with Eastman, and we hear he's been doing regularly 8 3-minute rounds with Eastman, then his stamina is certainly not going to be in question. Good solid body shot by the youngster.
I dare say the big test for Barker will be more in his mind than the actual fight itself. Once they get past the 4th round, you know, this kid hasn't been past 4 rounds before. Big difference from amateur boxing to the paid ranks. You know, once he gets to like the 5th and then obviously into the 6th round, if it goes that far, then that's when he'll have to start to get his mental concentrations.
Well, he's looking pretty comfortable after 2 rounds. Well, 6 minutes gone, almost as many as he would normally go in the amateur ranks. A bit of action from that run. Howard Clarke wasn't too far away with that left hand, causing Darren Barker to miss. Barker's hand's held a wee bit on the low side, but he's looking for an opening against, well, perhaps an opponent he feels might be non-threatening, but you never know with Howard Clarke. Ross Minter thought that some time ago, and he got himself stopped, but that was well over 2 years ago. Good work towards the end of that second round by the man making his debut.
Quarters 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 3.
Nobby Nobbs in the Howard Clarke corner had a last little word. Just interesting to see what piece of information Nobby Nobbs imparted, whether it's just to keep going and give the youngster a good workout. And again, it gets back to what you were saying in the previous round, Duke. What sort of ambition would Howard Clarke have left?
Well, he's getting beaten to the punch quite effectively by Clarke. Clarke's just throwing nice little snappy counter punches, and he gets the shoulder on and just nudges him off.
Good variation from Darren Barker, going to the body against that high guard of Clarke's.
Nice to see that Clarke's not trying to load up with every punch that he's throwing. He's just trying to get hopefully get some rounds under his belt, keep his work rate going, keep everything nice and tight, not do anything silly. There'll be stiffer tests to come for this young kid as he moves through the professional ranks. He just needs to just learn his trade.
And I suppose the big test is going to see how he reacts when he's put in the back foot, and so far he hasn't been put in the back foot. Pushing down. Well, it's a bit early to be incurring the wrath of referees like that, but Paul Thomas is quite right. If there are any one or two little bad habits, then an A-star referee will certainly get rid of them for you.
Sure, it's all a learning curve, obviously, for Clarke. And he's not going to be used to getting, stern warnings like this from an A-grade referee.
Clarke being a bit on the slippery side. He's been a professional boxer since October of 1991. Had a terrific start to his career, won 18 out of the first 21 or 22. And then defeated a good Frenchman, Papillon, before going in against Fernando Vargas in a rather one-sided world title challenge in Madison Square Garden. Good work again by Barker, using that reach of his quite nicely.
There's nothing coming back from Clarke at all. Like I said, I didn't think he would have too much ambition left. He's just going to be active enough to keep this young guy on his toes, but not really threaten him too much.
Well, Barker has gone farther than he ever did as an amateur in terms of time in the ring. A lot of people feel that the 2-minute rounds in amateur boxing really aren't enough. Occasionally Howard Clarke steps inside and does catch Barker, and again we've got to see what this young chin is made of. Well, Barker not wasting any time, didn't wait for the referee to say either break or stop, and again doing pretty well. The timing just not quite right, very nearly clipped Howard Clarke on the point of his chin, which I think would have caused the veteran a little bit of trouble had it landed correctly. Clarke covering up very nicely, and this is a lot better than any sparring, isn't it, Duke?
Oh, certainly. What Barker's obviously getting is a taste of the crowd. He's getting used to the referee, and more importantly, getting used to the paid ranks. He's got an opponent in front of him that's not going to cause him too many problems, but it's going to take him the distance.
Quarters 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 4.
A little bit of delay at the start of the fourth round of this scheduled 6-rounder, while the man in the leopard skin print trunks, Howard Clarke, former world light middleweight title challenger, has a little bit of extra water and Vaseline rubbed off his face by trainer Nobby Nobbs. Brisk start now. Barker's corner, I think I've just said to him step up the pace a little bit, but it's been a pretty impressive debut by the young man. 22 years of age.
A little bit of a more lively start to this round from Clarke also. Maybe he's thinking in his own mind, to give away the first couple of rounds, because he wasn't going to beat the young kid to the punch, and then maybe try and turn it on in the second half of the fight. I like the shoulder work that young Clarke's using every time. He's just Barker's using the shoulder every time. He gets Clarke into the close exchange and then throws a little combination and just shoulders him off.
Clarke falling short against the man with the longer reach and the faster hands. Just wonder for how much longer will we see Howard Clarke in British rings. He's now 37 years of age.
He's not in any danger of getting hurt in this fight. You know, Barker's not a puncher. He's just a nice, snappy boxer.
Good work by the veteran Clarke inside, just tying the younger man up. Solid body shots going in, and there's that shoulder again. And there's a nasty looking swelling underneath the left eye of Howard Clarke. Minute to go to the end of the fourth, and then 2 more. Certainly no problem stamina-wise at this stage on his debut by Darren Barker.
No, as Barker goes through the professional ranks, you know, all that bouncing around that he's doing, he'll just settle his feet down, set himself down, and that will increase his punch power. Just got to set himself down, put his feet to the ground when he's ready to unload with the combinations.
And again, the timing just not quite right, but the intention was there, and he showed a nice variation of shots. Got himself caught with the right hand as he let his left just slip away, and he's got to keep that left up.
Well, he'll get away with plenty, obviously, in this fight. And again, as he goes through the professional ranks and starts to learn his trade, hopefully we'll see fewer mistakes. Nothing wrong with what he's doing right now, though. Just boxing his way in, getting a little bit involved every now and again, but, you know, that's just inexperience.
Being first to the punch, and that's good to see from a young man. And again, that shoulder goes in. Bit of a hop and a skip in the step of Howard Clarke as he goes back to his corner, but Darren Barker, I think, will be pretty well pleased with his display so far. He's got 4 3-minute rounds under his belt.
Got some nice. Get back on the jab, man. Keep using the jab, right? Get more centre, right? Slide that jab in. Use your reach, use your monogram, right? Line him up with the left hand and follow.
All that experience of Clarke, just covering up and trying to make the target as small as possible, and tying up the younger man on the inside. But good work at long range by Barker. He really lands those shots very nicely. Clarke soaking up quite a lot on the gloves and the forearms, and there's that shoulder of Barker going in at the end of the round.
Seconds out, round 5.
So 12 minutes of professional boxing, pretty successfully negotiated by the 22-year-old in the black trunks trimmed with white, the 2002 Commonwealth Games gold medalist of a couple of years ago at light welterweight, Darren Barker.
This is where Barker's got to hold it together, you know, mentally now. Lovely left uppercut. Did a little feint there, showed him the right hand, hit him with a left uppercut, then hit him with the shoulder.
Yeah, Paul Thomas has cautioned him. I'm sure the last thing he needs is to be given a warning and lose a point in his professional debut. Wouldn't augur very well for the future, but that was a very sweet little left hand by him. Little rubbing of heads. And he's leaning on. I tell you, this film doesn't look as if he's making his debut. He looks as if he's had at least a dozen pro fights.
He's doing quite well right now. He's showing little feints in there as well, which is something we're not really accustomed to from a guy that's having his first fight.
Haven't really seen Clarke unload at this stage. Maybe he's not going to bother. Maybe he's just content to try to survive. Occasionally Clarke comes back and shows a little glimmer of the very good boxer he was.
Clarke just using a little bit of kidology there, just screaming at the younger guy in front of him, just trying to unruffle him, but I don't think he's going to have too much success in that department. Clarke's in total control. Barker's in total control. Changed my glasses, Jim.
Well, I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more of Darren Barker as the years unfold. On this performance, couldn't really fault it. Might not be the 12th man to stop Howard Clarke before the final bell, but he may well be the 48th boxer to beat him. Good solid right hand. 45 seconds of this penultimate round remaining, and it's been a nice, brisk, crisp, efficient professional debut by Darren Barker. Great refereeing by Paul Thomas, just saying to them, sort yourselves out. Just little signs, I think, Duke, that Barker may be tiring, understandably.
Sure, you know, he's put a lot of work in, and he's obviously not used to doing even the 5-round distances we're at now, so he's got another round to negotiate. But I'm sure he's just got a cool head in there, and we'll just go about his work as he's done for the first 5 previous rounds. Just grimacing there in a little bit. Like you say, just not quite used to the distances yet, but, you know, this is professional boxing.
Not quite the same intensity as the first 4 rounds, certainly, from Darren Barker. Perhaps understandable. Maybe keeping himself for a very big finish. There's some action from that round. Barker feinting very nice indeed, and that left hand was the best punch of the whole contest. Look, he just feinted with that shoulder and then delivered through with the left hand and landed flush in the jaw of Howard Clarke.
Lovely shots there, mate. Last round now. 36 seconds, he's going to have a little go. Go through, flip the jacket, go through the wall, and back to the centre of the ring, back onto the work, alright? Watching brilliant. Like that.
Quarters 10 seconds. Seconds out for the 6th and last round.
They'll be pretty pleased with Darren Barker, because the young man in the black trunks trimmed with white, or may even be silver, has put in a very good performance against that great veteran and perennial warhorse Howard Clarke, now 37 years of age, former world title challenger in the light middleweight division. And Barker, who's moved up from 10 stone to 11 stone, in fact is about a stone and a half heavier than he was when he won his Commonwealth Games gold medal a couple of years ago in Manchester, looks very confident. And there's enough there, I think, Duke, to suggest that Darren Barker is somebody who's going to be reckoned with in this division.
I think so. You know, it's a long way to go, obviously, and we can't surmise anything. You know, he hasn't shown us anything that we didn't already know about him. He's just gone about his work in a very business-like fashion tonight. Should win this fight, but, you know, he's won everything so far. Doesn't look like he's going to walk onto anything silly. He's too clever for that.
Nearly walked onto a right hand, so he must be very careful. It's interesting how many young boxers, when they turn professional, tend to sometimes forget that upright, protect yourself at all times, amateur style, and sometimes it costs them.
Sure. Fortunately, he hasn't cost him tonight, which has been very sensible. Just finishing this off with a nice little flurry now. You know, it's always good for a guy that's having his first fight just to get the 6 rounds under his belt. You know, now he knows he can do it, and he'll go on from here and go from strength to strength.
Well, he's really digging in, using that shoulder again that Paul Thomas has spoken to him about, but the referee's letting him let it go at this stage, the man from Derby. Just about a minute to go. This has been a very impressive debut for Darren Barker. They could have picked easier opponents than Howard Clarke.
Well, both boxers now are very, very tired. I think Clarke more so, obviously, than Barker. You know, he's been stopping the punches all night. There isn't really anything coming back from him. As I said before, they're just not. He doesn't have the desire anymore or the will to win. You know, he's always been an opponent to a degree.
Good left hand from Barker. Threatened to rock him back in his heels, but Clarke took it very nicely. Well, this is more than twice as long as Darren Barker ever went as an amateur boxer.
At least in his own mindset now, Barker will know that he can do 6 good rounds at a reasonable pace.
Well, he's kept up a very good pace. Signs in the 5th that he might have been flagging a little bit, but he's picked it up in the last round. And more importantly, he's taken a couple of good shots, and the chin doesn't look too bad. And that's a very impressive debut by Darren Barker. So the Commonwealth Games gold medalist at light welterweight has made a winning debut, I'm quite sure. Yes, he has. Up goes the hand at light middleweight. And Paul Thomas has given it to Darren Barker, and I think it's onward and upward for young Master Barker. Good start for him. Well, if anything, the pace picked up a little bit in the 6th round, so certainly all those sparring sessions, in particular with Howard Eastman, have stood him in very good stead indeed. And a good hand speed at the end, and that was a sweet left hand. That really was a corking one, right to the point of dear Howard Clarke's chin. And Clarke on the back foot, and Barker tailed him again and tagged him again, and Barker will be pleased with that.
Darren, well done. No vest, no headgear, 6-3s instead of 4-2s. How did you find it?
I find it fine. I've trained very hard for it. I've trained for about 7-8 weeks. That's why we went straight into 6-3s rather than 4-3s. I felt sharp, and yeah, it was a good fight, good learning fight for me. First time up, very experienced opponent, and I think it suited me fine. I got my shots off, and yeah, good 6 rounds.
1 or 2 times the referee had to say 1 or 2 things to you about maybe use of the shoulder. Have you picked up a few pro habits pretty quickly?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Tricks of the trade. To be honest, I was learning in there as he was doing. I thought I'd give it back to him, but yeah, they'll all come with experience, and I think that 6 rounds put me in good stead for the future.
Apart from getting through the 6 rounds, what pleased you most about your performance?
That he was a very durable opponent. He's been in there, he's fought for a world title, he's boxed everyone, and I beat him convincingly. They could have put me in there with a bod, who's just a real walkover, but that was a good 6 rounds, and I've learned a lot from it already.
I presume you'd like to get back into action pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm very fit at the moment. I've been training really hard, and now I'm up there. I want to stay there and keep it going.
I know you were very disappointed that you didn't get to Athens. Your teammate did everybody proud there.
Yeah. And
there's huge speculation this week about Amir Khan, who's not yet 18, thinking seriously about turning pro. What would your advice be to your teammate?
He's more than capable, 100%, to go to Beijing and win a gold medal. Without a doubt, he's a very good talent. One of the best in the world, without a doubt. And if I was him, 17 years old, be 21 when he wins the gold medal. Perfect age. Do you know what I mean? No rush.
Are you in a bit of a rush to get things done quickly?
I am. I was disappointed with the Olympics. The only reason I didn't qualify was because I was stuck in between weights. They moved light middleweight away. If I was there, I would have guaranteed I would have gone to the Olympics and would have got a medal. So now I'm in the pros. I just want to get it done.
Hey, well done.
Thanks very much.
Well, a nice win for Darren. Nice easy win for the white van man from Essex. Fantastic for him. Bobby, long time ago since you made your debut. Would he have been nervous tonight, Darren?
I think so, definitely. There are a lot of things expected of him, being Commonwealth gold medalist.
Yep.
And he looked all that tonight. It looked fantastic. Put his shots together well. Good combinations. Very good talent, definitely.
Now I know you liked him, Rich, because wait for it, he looked like you when you were a bit younger, didn't he?
Yeah,
nice and slim, good looking, nice straight jab.
Well, what more can you ask for? He was a good kid. I remember him from the Commonwealth Games in Manchester in 2002, winning that gold medal. And he's a very well-schooled guy. Comes from Repton, the very famous amateur boxing club down there in East London. And they're very well-schooled guys. And I think he showed today that he's got loads of skills. He's just got to convert that now to the pro game. And I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.